Hi everyone, welcome to Data Analytics Blog, and in this tutorial I'm going to be walking you through how to create this beautiful sale comparison dashboard in Power BI. You will learn how to use DAX for visuals and also how to use conditional formatting for your charts, and also I'm going to walk you through on how to use tooltips to create visual that appear when you hover over your charts in Power BI. So let's talk briefly about the dashboard as an overview of the dashboard. So I have a slicer here. That is, when you click on any of the year, it will filter for information, for all the information of that particular year. So if you want to view any information for a particular year, just click on when you click on the slicer, it will give you information for that particular year. And also for the KPI metrics, I have a CY sale. I use card to display the CY sale, that is the current year sale, the budgeted, the previous year sale, the budgeted sale, and also budget variance, which is the variance between this current year sales and the budgeted sale, and also year on year sale growth. The table display the sales category, all the sale category for each of the products, and also I display the donut chart shows the year on year growth sales by category. So if I hover on any of the donuts, you will see another chart that displays the current year and previous years by category. So you are going to learn how to do that in this tutorial. And also for the final chart here is the monthly budget variance. So I display another chart to show the year on year growth by each of the months. Now let's start our analysis. So before then, so I created my dashboard background in PowerPoint. I'm going to show us that. So this is where I created the background for this particular dashboard. So this is the background that I designed in PowerPoint. So I'm going to do another video based on that because I don't want these videos to be long. So I'm going to do another video on that. So you have to stay tuned to my channel in order for you to receive updates on that. Click on the notification channel or the button, and also subscribe to this channel. So let's start our our analysis in dashboard in Power BI. So now it's time for us to import our data. I'm going to go to get data, and Excel is an Excel workbook. So I have this particular budget. So that's the data that I want to use. So my data is connecting. So make sure you subscribe to this channel. So you click on the three data. If you need the data, I'm going to send it. You see it via the link on the video tutorial or description. So I don't need to transform the data because the data is clean. I'm going to load it. So I'm loading it. Now we have our data in Power BI. We have all our three tables in Power BI now. So now the first thing that I'm going to do now, I'm going to create the first DAX function that we create is the date dimension table. So I want to create another table, which is the calendar table. You can name it calendar table or date dimensional table. So what I will do now is to go to where is that? Go to my data view, and then I'm going to click on new table. Go to data view and click on new table. So once you've done that, so the first thing now is to rename our date table for me to use for us to create our DAX. So I'm going to name it date dim, that's date dimension equals to calendar auto. So we use calendar auto. So yeah, So it will automatically, once you use calendar auto to create your date dimension, it will automatically create the range of the dates based on the data in your model. So it is a table. Calendar auto we use to create a table with a single column. You can see now it has automatically created the date based on the data that I have here. So now the next thing that I'm going to do now is to create another column here. I want to create a new column, in this particular date dimension, and I want to create column for year. So I will name it year equals to date, then dates, dim dates. Okay, dates, date table. Okay, so hold on, let me check that. Year equals to date theme. That's the date or the calendar date that I created. Then date theme, then comma, sorry, then you have to add the year. That's for the year, and it will automatically create a year for that. So now the next one that I'm going to do now is my month column. So now equals to months. That is still working. Months equals to date, the date that we created, then click on months here. So you click on that. Now we've created our year and monthly column. If you want to do to quarter too, you can do the same thing and create it for quarter, but I don't need that. Now the next thing now is for us to go to model view and also connect the calendar table to other table. So now you can see now this, we have this automatically that's connected to this. The table, the three table that we have that we loaded has already connected. So now what we need now is to connect our dimension table, that's the date table, to this. So now I'm going to connect this to this date here, this theme date to this sale date here. Let's connect it. So now these two, this the month here too. Okay, I need to check that. So that is loading. Going to connect that to this. So I'm going to, yes, click on it and click OK to connect it. So now our table, our four table is connected to each other. We've created relationship in data model. So now before we start our visual, so we need to create some method, calculated method for, in order for us to be able to use what's it called. So now for us to create what's it called, the CY sale, PY sale, budgeted sale, we need to create some method. So now I need to go back to my dashboard to start creating those method. So before then, I like to put all my calculated method. I love to put them together in a particular table. So now I will have to enter data here, enter data, so that when I'm clicking them, you just need to, or it will be easier for me to note the methods I created. So now load. So now I've created a table for what's it called, for my mayor. So now it's time for me to start creating each of these sales, each of these KPI. So now the first thing that I want to do now is to create the CY sale, that's the current year sale. So I'm going to click on new measure. I'm clicking on new measure, and I'm going to be using that to create that. So now I will just write CY sales equals to, oh sorry, that's an error. So equals to, oh, I'm going to call a variable CY, sorry, CY equals to maximum. I'm going to call maximum year for us to have that particular year, dates, the date that we created. So now return okay, I'm already having error. Let me write it. Okay, I'm going to correct each of the error. So I've corrected that. So CY equals to, calling a variable, which is our CY, equals to the maximum year. The maximum year that we are using maximum so that you'll be able to pick the, when you click on that year, when you click on a particular year, it will give us the sum of the sale for that particular year. Then return return, and then what are you returning? You are calculating and filter for that sales amount, and then you filter for CY. So close this. So this is our formula. If you knew this, is also, you can copy this formula online, or I can just put it on the video description. So now we've created our CYC. So the next thing now is to create another thing that I want to create, is the PY sale. So my PY sale will be, so create another measure, add new measure here. So now PY sales will now be equals to calculate. We are going to divide or calculate CY sales that we created, CY sale that you created by same period last year. Use same period last year as your function again. That's function, and then you filter for date team, this date. So you close your, or then in case of any error, so you have to introduce a blank for that. So now you close that. So sorry, I made a mistake on that. You don't need to introduce a blank for that. So now if you're having any issue with the formula while you are doing this video, you can contact me. But I think this explanation will explain it better for you. So you have to calculate PYC equals to calculate CYC by sale period, same period last year. That's the function you want to use divided by date. So now close that. Now the next thing that we need to do again is to do our budgeted sale. So now I want to create the budgeted sale for that. So now to do that, okay, before then, so all we need to do in this budgeted sale is very, very simple. Just go back to your CYC, copy it, because it's just something what we need to do. Copy it, Then come back here and create new measure once you've done that. So now what you've copied, just paste it, then change this to budgeted sale. Budgeted sales. Okay, sorry. Sales equals to sales amount. Now what we need to do, what we are going to do, yes, we are just going to, what we need to change here is to change this to our budgeted amount. That's the only difference. So some budgeted amount, so that's what we are going to change it to. That's the only difference here. And what else are we going to do here? Then that's all. So then mark it. So budgeted say equals to cy, call a variable which is cy, the maximum date. And what is it going to return? It's going to return the sum of the budgeted say for that particular year. Sum of the budget, it will filter for the sum of the budgeted say for that particular year. So that's what the maximum, which is the total, and it will filter for the sum of budgeted say for that particular year. So close that. Now the next thing that we need to do, we calculate again, is to calculate our year-on-year growth. So go to create measure. So year-on-year growth sales percent equals to, you divide cy say by you divide cy say by py say, divide cy say minus py say, then divided by py say. Then you are going to introduce a blank in case of any error. So now comma blank. In case of any error, you are going to introduce a blank. Then mark your formula. Then you change it to percentage because this is in form of percentage. So you can change it to zero significant figure. So now I'm going to create another method again, and which is my budgeted variance percentage. So now, and it will be the variance between the cy say and budgeted say. That's budget variance percentage will now be variance between the cy say. You divide cy say minus budgeted sales divided by budgeted sale, and again introduce blank in case of any error. So now you mark your formula. So now again change it to percentage. So now that we've created all the mail, it's time for us to start our creating our reports, creating of the various dashboard, the charts and the visual. So now I need to bring the dashboard background. So go to page, canvas background. So I'm going to do another video on how to build the background I'm using. So I'm going to change it to fit, then reduce the transparency to 0. So this is my background. So now it's time for me to start creating the charts. So the first one that I'm going to do is the card. So bring the card here. So my py sale my PY current year sale, that's the CY sale. So bring it here. So I need to format this card so that I'm going to use it for the other card, other matrix. So I'm going to change this to, let's say, about 25, and then this I'm going to change it to this. So again, what else? I don't need this. What else do I need to do there? Let's go back to the call out. I don't need the call out. So come here, I want to remove the background. So I think that's all for our card. Okay, I'm going to bring it here to reduce it to the size of this so that we'll be able to use it very well. So again, let me go back to the card. I'm going to change it to 0 decimal place. Okay, so now I'm going to change the color to white. Good. So now this is my card. So this is the first visual. So now I'm going to duplicate, copy and paste it, copy it and paste it. I'm going to paste it again, copy again, paste, and also paste it to the last one so that we're going to use it. Okay, so now the next thing is the PYC. So I will just drag that one here, change it. You can see now the budgeted amount, that budgeted sale. So come right here, drag it here. So again, the last one, which is this one, budgeted variance. Okay, then year on year growth, come right here and put it here. So now I need to do conditional formatting. I want to create conditional formatting for my visual, for each of my visual. Oh no, for the budgeted variance and also for the year on year growth, I need to create a conditional formatting for them. So now I will click on the budgeted variance, go to format, then this, then I'm going to click on this effects which represent conditional formatting. Click on it. So now what do I want to do? I want to create rules. So my first rule here will be I'm going to be, that will be equals to, if the value is greater than or equals to 0, I'm going to be writing 0 here. Then is less than maximum number, let's say it's less than the maximum number, then it will be green. So just select here, come right here and select any of the green. I'm going to be using this particular green. Then click OK. No, before then, let's add another rule, which is for the negative value. So now if this again is greater than or equals to the minimum value, then make it 0 and then red. So I'm going to be selecting this red, or let's increase the rest to this side. Okay, let's select that red. So now what this means is if this value is greater than 0, is greater than or equals to 0. So if you are saying percentage here, just change it to number, change it to number. If it's greater than 0 and is less than the maximum number, make it green. If it is greater than the minimum number and is less than 0, make it red. That's what it just means. So you're going to change that. Can you see now? Because it's in negative. So if you click this and put it in this format, it will also change it, do the same thing. Just click this and click on format paint and format it for the year on year. You don't need to go and create another this thing. So now let me bring our slicer so that if we test what we just did here. So now click on the slicer, then put year on the slicer, then go and format your slicer. And let me quickly do that. remove the slicer header. Okay, slicer setting, that's drop down. I will need the drop down. Okay, background, remove the background for the slicer setting. So now let me just bring it here, bring it here. So now if I click on any of this, can you see now? Okay, now I need to go back to go and apply. So I think this is not, it didn't change, so it's not the same. So let me go and change it here. So it's not giving me what I want to do. So don't do the format paint. So go back to click on your year-on-year growth and click on FX. Let's correct that. But it's the same thing. Okay, it's giving us budgeted variance. So just change it to year-on-year growth. So it's because the conditional formatting is on budgeted variance. So once you do that, just change it to year-on-year growth here. Then, so let's go back and check if it's changing. Yes. So everything is correct now. Our conditional formatting is correct. So we'll go back to our slicer later. So now the next thing that I need to do again now is my table. So I need to bring this table here. I need to create this table. So now let's start with that. Just bring your table here. So now I'm going to expand it. So now I'm going to be dragging everything that I needed. So I want the sale for all products. So I'm going to be dragging all the sales category for products, budgeted sale, budgeted variance, then year on year. So now let's start formatting our table. First, for the style, I'll change it to minimal. Let's do that. So now for the grid, I'm going to change it to, and then the vertical line too, you can hone in and change it to this. So now the next thing that I'm going to do again, what says my value, I'm going to change it to my usual front. Then I will leave it this way. Okay, what says do I need to do in this value? Okay, let's remove that. Then for column header, let's change the column header background. I want to change this, the column header background. I need to change this to a particular, let me change it to this. Okay, let's check that out. Okay, not my front, not the front. I'm changing the back to, is the background I want to change. Yes. So now let's bring it like this. Again, I want to change this front to this. Good. So now for each of our total, I don't need the total. Let's remove it. You can leave it if you need it. So for each of our sale, for each of our category, the table column. So for the CY sale, I just bring it to the front. Again, display unit. I will display this in million. So that then what else do I need there? Okay, let's leave it to that. Apply. What else? CY sale, the same thing, bring it to the front, to the center, then display it in million. So for my budgeted, so for this budgeted sales, so again bring it here, then budgeted, just change everything. I'm just trying to align my table. Good. So and the last one, which is the year-on-year growth. So now we are good to go with our table. So now the next thing is the conditional formatting for each of these. For the CY, or for the budgeted variance, the budget variance and uh, the budget variance and the year-on-year growth. So I want to align this very well. Okay. So for the budget variance and the year-on-year growth, I need to add some conditional formatting to that. Okay, I think my data is having issue. I don't know. Let's check. Okay, for the budget amount, budget variance, and say I'm not supposed to change it to million. Just leave it. Is in percentage. That's why it's showing like that. Is in percentage. So the year also budget. Sorry for that. So leave it. Your display should be in percentage. So now, what else do we need? So now for my conditional formatting on the budget variance and the year-on-year sale growth sales. So now what I need to do is go to cell elements. So now I want to apply it, the series. What do you want to apply it? Okay, let me start with the budget variance. Budget variance, that's where I want to apply some formatting there. So I'm going to click on the icon. Can you see now that it has given us the automatically giving us this icon? So but I want to do my own custom conditional formatting. So go to that, go back. Then I'm going to write if this value is greater than 0, then change everything else to number. Change everything to number. First change it to number. So if this particular value, if the value is greater than 0, then and is less than maximum, number, then make it green. So I'm looking for that particular green icon. This, I need this. Then if the value is equals to 0, make it orange. So it has given us this particular orange. So now, but if the value is greater than or less than minimum number, and is greater than or equals to minimum value, and then is less than, sorry, is greater than, is now less than 0, put 0 here, then you make it red. So now click OK. So you can see now automatically we have this. So I'm going to do the same thing to variance, or to year-on-year sales growth. Go back, then fix this, add this. So do the same thing there. Just follow what I'm doing. So now it will apply to this too. So now we are done with our what's it called, we are done with our table. So now the next thing now is the donut chart. So my donut chart. So now that's my product category on the legend, and the value will be year-on-year sales. So now I need to format my chart, remove the background, go back to visual. Okay, I want to remove, I don't need the title, I already have my title. So this particular, I'm going to, our legend, I'm going to bring it to the bottom center. The text, I'm going to format the text to black, then sorry, just pick any front color that you want. Then the title, I don't need the title. So now the slicer, so you can just work on your slicer, pick any value that you, any color that you want, just pick any color that you want for this slicer. So now, okay, so data label, I just want the percentage only. So the value, black, and change the front color, good. You can increase it. Okay, so we are good to go with this. So now the last one, which is the budget variance. So I'm going to create budget variance by month, a column chart for that. So just align it. So now for that is budget variance by month. So my month, I'm going to bring my month here, then budget variance by month, and I'm going to add it to this. So now I'm going to apply conditional formatting here again. So go to format. First, I need to remove the title and remove the fill. So now what I need to do here is to write some conditional formatting on my column chart. So now the first thing, remove this, work, just change it to this. So now, so here do the same thing for x-axis too. So the next thing now is to apply conditional formatting to my column. But before then, let me just quickly work on my data value. Add this. So you can change the front if you want. So now, okay, so now apply conditional formatting to the column, the negative value, and to differentiate the negative value and the positive value, the lower value and the. So now I'm going to click on FX, then click this. That's what are we clicking on? That's budgeted variance. So rule, I'm going to apply rule to that. Just 2 for this. So now if my value is greater than or equals to 0, then change it to number, and is less than the maximum number, the maximum, So now I'm going to apply green color to that. Let me just use this green. So now add another rule. If this is greater than or less than minimum, then change this to number and it's also less than 0. I'm going to add red to that. So click OK. Can you see now that we have our conditional formatting on our charts? That's our column chart. So now the next thing now is to create tooltip. So now I'm going to create this. To create tooltips, what I need to do first is to first come to the page information, then allow to use tooltips. So now for here, the first tooltips I need to create is what's it called? I need to apply the setting. Okay, let's do some setting for our tooltips. Let's see. Let's do some setting here. We can just, okay, let's leave it like this. So now the two things I want to create is I want to create another I want to create the CYC and PYC for the category, for each of the categories. So I'm going to use a cluster column for that. So now I'm going to add PYC here, then CYC, then add my category to y-axis. So now we have our CYC, and so now we can format the chart. Let's format the chart. So okay, so now this, just format this, or you can leave it like that. Just format your chart depending on how you want it to build. So now for my X value, I'm going to change this to black, then change this to my front. Good. So now what else again? I don't want this, so I need the title. So I need to format the title. We can reduce it. So what else do we need here? My data label, I need to add the data label, add it, and then format the data label value. Then the display unit will be in million. Can just put. So now go back if you want it to show when you hover your chart. So click here. Since I want to apply it, then go to tools, come here and apply to put it on, switch it on. Then the report page, what's the report? I'm going to use this. So the page 4 is the tooltips that I created. So now, so if you click on this now, you can see now that it's showing. So that is how to add tooltips to report. And I believe you have learned one or two things from this particular tutorial. You've learned how to use conditional formatting for charts, also how to use that to create visuals such as card, and also other things from this particular video tutorial. Like I said, I'm going to share another tutorial video on how I was able to do the background in PowerPoint. So stay tuned to my channel, subscribe to my channel, like this video, share, and also make sure that you comment. Give me your feedback on the comment section. But most important thing, subscribe to my channel. Thank you. Bye.